Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Anisha here, and today we are talking about your IIM Indore interview experiences for the 5 years integrated program, like the IPMAT interview experiences. I hope you checked out the first one, which was quite grilling if you had noticed. Let's look at this another set of interview questions which were there for the student called as Mohit. You can also check them up online. They're all available online, but bringing this repository for you guys so that you will be having your interviews in the next 10-15 days, so you should be well prepared for the same. Okay, so this was 2018 interview experience, where it was obvious the interview is always after what. So the first thing you will have is a what topic. Then the students were like divided, and then the kind of, now the interview starts, the one-on-one interview which is there, and there were three panelists, so it's going to be three versus one person, so you have to have your strong guard on your preparation. Okay, so here we get started, like, may I come in? That's like a typical thing, but they want to put a little stress on you, so they do test your temperament. And take your seat. I sat down, and you came to know that panelist one was going to ask me about chemistry, panelist two was going to ask me was going to rub salt on my wound by asking me about mathematics, and panelist three was just there to know about my interest, and I think that she was the coolest amongst them. Okay, so this is same somehow because of someone who's read about the faculties, so you should know the faculties on campus and read about that on the IIM Indore website. It's all available. Okay, so it starts with the first one. Tell me something about yourself. So he starts with it like, his my name is, and the entire journey. Now this is the most important question, the first 2 minutes which you should be focusing on. That's your first chance to impress the panelists. Okay, then they spoke about what is your academic background and what are the subjects that you pursued. So here you talk about, what kind of subjects which were there: physics, chemistry, mathematics, English, and physical education as the optional subject. Okay, now this is something which is unique because this is not what everybody takes. So that's the cue to the next question. Okay, so how know about physical education? Tell me what are the types of strength. Now, absolutely, this was not expected by the student, but this is how interviews are. You need to understand there's something called as creating a hook. Okay, so because in your subjects, the last thing you spoke about was physical education, the panelists picked onto it. If you don't intend to have questions on that, do not talk about it. Talk about just your main subjects, right? So then, or you can keep the optional subject to be spoken in between and end it up with which is your favorite subject. So that gives you the next question to be asked on that part of that particular segment. Okay, so here he's giving an attempt to it. There are three types of strength, namely maximum strength, strength endurance, and explosive strength. And she was kind of happy with it. So they asked to show the mark sheets. Okay, now what is your favorite subject? So I don't particularly like or hate any subject, but maths interests me. Okay, now it was just trying to impress, but it's not really good because IIM Indore is known for maths kind of questions, and we saw the previous one also, there were probability based questions being asked, so you should be good at your math, right? Okay, your grades say something else. Yeah, I might have the lowest grades in math compared to other subjects, but math interests me doesn't necessarily mean that I'd be good at it. So that's a cover up answer, but you should avoid being this street smart or over smart when it comes to, a panelist might take it as in the wrong direction as well. So then they gave him a question. Okay, so grab a sheet from the desk and draw the graph of function y equal to x cube. And the kind of drew it, and he was there. Then he made a simple question, would ask me a simple question, but he knew that if something was wrong, then they asked him to make another graph of x cube minus 3xy plus y cube and describe the type of equation. Now this is something which was tough one, but because this guy was prepared for his JW, he was able to draw, and the panelists were kind of impressed, like, okay, this guy knows about it and he's not kidding that he is interested in maths. All right, so what is your strong part in chemistry? Now let's look into another subject. Let's grill you on your background from other subjects which is there. So it was organics. So okay, so tell me about SN1 and SN2 reaction and what is the difference between them. He was able to answer since he was aware of that. Then what does the energy profile diagram look like? Drew the profile diagram. What is the difference between an intermediate and a transition state? This which is there, but it was a little confusing, but he was able to, understand and explain the different states of energy, because this is something you have studied in your school, right? So you understand that. So okay, Mohit, that's all from my side. Do you want to ask something? Now here he said, that he has nothing to ask. I would suggest you should not say nothing to ask. Keep some questions ready to ask the panelist about the program, about the life on campus, opportunities on campus, so that it shows that you are very well read about the campus. Okay. So then he was asked from the third panelist about the hobbies and interests. So now your academics is done. Now we are moving towards extracurricular, what you are good at, your hobbies, interests, and the kind of interest he spoke about was sports, table tennis, volleyball, and which is there. So he was something, he was hobby is to collect coins. What's the other word for it? And he was aware of it, like it's numismatics, which is interesting. Okay. So then they kind of grilled onto it, like, okay, can you tell us something interesting about coins? So this is talking that you genuinely have an interest. Is it your really a hobby, or it is just a fad that you're trying to say? Because if you're genuinely interested, you can talk a lot about it, right? So he was able to uh, talk about the same. He was referred to a lot of online sources where he could refer to these, and which is there. So Mohit, you also mentioned your active participation in various events, so can you show some certificates? You have to carry your mark sheets and certificates. Now this guy was asked to show the mark sheets as well as certificates, so there is no scope of fudging or bluffing out there. It's all there, which is going to be available, right? And the best part is, despite all of these things, he was able to crack IIM Indore IPMAT program, and he was selected for it, right? So you have to make sure that you are smart enough to control. Make sure there's a thin line of difference being over smart and being street smart. So kind of don't cross that line. All right. Stay tuned for much more updates and preparation strategy for your interviews as well. And do make sure you subscribe to the channel.